As you know, COP26 is happening in Glasgow, Scotland, where world leaders, activists, and related parties such as lobbyists are now gathering in Glasgow for a climate conference. Many of them came on private planes, but several agreements were met as the world is racing for zero emission. Countries with strong industrial power and pollution are setting their zero emission targets in various timelines. Let's have a look at the race to zero emission campaign through this infographic. First, let's have a look at the top 5 carbon polluters around the globe. You've got China at 28% right here, and you got United States at 21%, and then you got India, and so on. So topping the list is China, of course, is an emerging country that relies the most on industries. As cited from the Global Carbon Project in 2008, China produced 10.06 billion metric tons, or 28% of the total global carbon production. The figure is considered astronomical compared to the second polluter, namely the US right here. So from 28 to 21, that only produced 5.41 billion metric tons. India is in third with 2.65 billion, followed by Russia in fourth with 1.71 billion, and Japan in the fifth, right here, with 1.16 billion metric tons, rather. Now, on to the next slide. And how are these countries with other global entities committed to lowering global temperature? Let's move on to the next slide. Well, seen here is the timeline. You get different dates here, commitment and target of the zero emission campaign. As stated in the Paris Agreement in 2015, the countries must keep the world temperature below 2 degrees Celsius. And hopefully by 2050, they can reach climate resilience and carbon neutrality. As we can see here, the closest target is from 2035, 2045. Right here, you got so you got Finland, you got Germany, and you got Sweden here. Several industrial countries in Northern Europe, see, they have all agreed to be carbon neutral, while Germany, as Europe's biggest industrial country, getting most of their fuel from Russia actually, is ready to follow in their footsteps. In addition, most countries have set their zero emissions target by 2050. You see right here. You got many countries here by 2050. And what about Indonesia? The country has pledged to cut its carbon emission to net zero by 2060. That's going to be along Brazil and Saudi Arabia. So, along with other emerging countries, rather, such as Saudi Arabia and Brazil. Other countries, such as Thailand, is also committed to be carbon neutral by 2065, that's Thailand, and also India by 2070. And at the end of the day, we can only hope for the best, knowing that reducing the emissions and preserving the planet is not only a responsibility of high-end parties, but also a moral obligation for the benefit of the planet.